Hello, this is Andrea St. Amand, and I'm here talking today about intimacy versus disconnection and dysfunction. By intimacy, I mean you are in a sharing relationship. You have that deep, satisfying sharing with that deep attraction. You're looking at your man or your woman, and you're like, that is one fun baby. That's intimacy. When we're not there, when we're not at that space, we are in disconnect. And disconnect first happens within ourselves. We are disconnected from ourselves. And then it shows up as disconnection with your partner. And if disconnection with your partner keeps going on, it will lead to dysfunction. And you guys, I know we've all been there, but when you are, most of us don't realize what's happening is that we're disconnected from ourselves. When you are disconnected from yourself, you cannot be intimate in that fantastic, deep, rich way with any other person. You can, like, intimacy is about you, and attraction is all about you. It's all about you. And so most of us, when we're disconnected, when I was disconnected, I didn't even know I was disconnected, because you don't really, you're not thinking that. But here's what disconnect looked like for me at the end of my last relationship. So I was with my husband at the time. We're now divorced. My husband at the time, we were in France. We took this trip to Paris, and France is the country of lovers, right? And Paris, the city of lovers. So we arrived, well, I chose that to illuminate our troubles, I don't know, but we arrived in the airport. We are going from De Gaulle down to downtown Paris, and Paris is looking like what Paris looks like. There are lovers everywhere. There are people just so happy, and they're hugging, and they're kissing, and they're holding hands, and they're talking, and I realized my nails, the nails of my hands, were dug into my thighs. I didn't even know that I had been gripping so hard, watching all these happy people outside the cab window, until we got to our hotel, and I was just gripping my legs so hard that I had bruised myself. I was giving, like, my nails were totally embedded in my legs, and I, like, had all this resentment because I wanted to be in Paris with somebody I wanted to be there with. I wanted to be there with someone I was really attracted to. I wanted to be in Paris with this guy I wanted to touch and grab, and I wanted to hold him, like, all night, and have him hold me all night. I wanted us to sit in, like, those Paris cafes and just sip wine and talk and talk and talk, and, like, be with your very, very best friend, but who you're madly, wildly attracted to. And instead, I'm in a cab with my nails digging into my legs, and I'll look over, and, like, the guy sitting next to me was not that guy. And so here's what my trip to Paris ended up looking like. It was meh. I mean, it was like we didn't fight. We just went through the motions and saw what we were supposed to see and what we were supposed to do, and went through the motions. And ladies, we've been going through the motions for centuries, so y'all know what I'm talking about. We just, like, and I found myself, I just couldn't wait to get back home, back to a life I hated, because going on this beautiful romantic trip just amplified how disconnected I was from the life I wanted to be living. So I came home, and shortly after that, the relationship started to crumble and fall apart, and we definitely were fighting. And mainly, I was so angry at him. I was so angry with him for not being willing to change. He would not engage. He would not do anything. He would not take one little step to make me happier. Nothing, 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 nothing. Now you realize how ridiculous I sound, right? Because we all know we can't make somebody else change. Nobody else can change. We have to, like, be the change we want, blah, blah, blah. But it's so hard to do that. And we all start blaming our partner. We all start fighting with our partner. When we get disconnected, it comes out in what we're saying to our partner and everybody around us, and we start getting mad at them for not doing what we need them to do to make us happy. We're like, if he would just listen to me, if he would just sit down, if he would just be nicer, if he would just give me some time, if he would just share, if he would just open up, if he would just do this or do that. And the guys are like, if she would just quit nagging me, if she would just be nicer, if she would just chill out, then everything could be fine. When we go into this thing, and intimacy is definitely gone at that point, and I certainly hope you're not going through the motions at that point. But at that point, when it's always all about the other person, it is all about you. 100% of the time at that point, it is about you. You are disconnected from yourself. You're so far away from what you deeply, deeply need. And I'm not talking about when you stand up to your partner and you start yelling at your partner for what you think you need. I mean, really what you need. Most of us don't even know what we need at that point. You are the ones that have to make a shift, though. You have to. You can go all therapy on the planet. You can do all the outside work. None of it is going to work unless you do the internal shift on your perspective and you declare no more. And when I was in France, I declared no more. I am never, ever going to just go through the motions ever again, because life is too short. Yes, Catherine just commented, life is too short to go through the motions. It is. So when you get to that point to where you're declaring no more, you're talking to yourself. You're totally talking to yourself. You're telling yourself, I am not going to stand. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to keep whatever it is that you're doing. I'm not going to take this relationship anymore. I'm not going to take this anymore. That's fantastic. I'm going to give you, you can make this shift. This shift can happen to you, and it can happen like that when you're ready. And I'll tell you a happy story about my friend who has done a lot of self-work, and she has been in a long-term relationship. She has 3 kids. They have a house, and she really was stepping out into her truth, and which is weird. She was stepping out of the woo closet, and she was on her way, and her husband was kind of left behind. And they got into this point where they're just fighting and fighting because she's wanting him to catch up to her, and he's saying, you're changing so much that you don't love me anymore. And they were fighting and it got bad, and this was going on. And my friend started thinking, we're going to get divorced. If he doesn't change, if he does not do something different, we are not going to make this. We are going to get divorced. And this is a man she's really, really committed to. So in that state of mind, they go over, they had an event at their in-laws' house. And of course, there's always dynamics with the in-laws that she would always fight with her husband about. You do this thing with the parents and with the whole family, and it makes me crazy, and blah, blah, blah. She gets over there, the in-laws start doing their dynamics and patterns, and my friend feels this thing start welling up in her. And finally, after a while, it's welling up, and it's getting ready to come out. And she's looked at her husband, and she said, ow, I have to go. I cannot, I got to go. And he was looking at her like, yep, got it. Because he's thinking, oh my God, she's going to explode. Well, they had driven in 2 separate cars. So they get in their cars. Husband goes home, and he is home, and he's cringing. He's literally like waiting for her on the front porch when she's going to explode. When she walks in here, my friend walks out of her in-laws' house. She gets into her car, and that thing that is welling up in her, she unleashes it, and she bursts into laughter. She was laughing and laughing and laughing like a maniac, laughing all the way home. Tears are going down her face because in that moment in her in-laws' house, she shifted and she saw all the patterns, and she said to herself, no more. I am not going to engage in these patterns anymore. I could see what they're doing, and no more. And she knew she couldn't just start laughing at them in their face because they would never forgive her. So she gets in her car, she's home, she's still laughing, she's crying, she sees her husband cringing on the porch, and she's trying to explain to him, like, I just said no more, and I'm just laughing. And finally he started to relax, and he got it, and he started laughing too, and he said, oh my gosh, I understand. Like, he made this aha moment. So my friend did not go home and yell at her husband. She didn't start screaming at him. She just took it on herself. And I'm not saying you laugh off situations that make you crazy. You can't. You have to be honest and do that honest work. But she did it, and she made that shift. And in that moment, she was so true to herself. It got her husband. He ended up being like, yeah. They sat down, and over the next weeks, this was a shift in their relationship, serious shift, like in the sense that the relationship they had up to that point that relationship was gone. The bad stuff of it, the stuff that didn't work for them anymore. They changed their life goals. They started changing a lot of stuff, and stuff started getting in sync. And now they're looking at each other like, yeah, you are my one fine baby. So it happens. It can work. You can make this shift if you are working on yourself, but you've got to be honest, brutally honest, about where you are and what isn't working. Even if you don't know what's working, you got to be honest about it. But when you do, you can have that deep attraction, that deep intimacy back in your life. So if you are constantly fighting with your partner, if you are not having those satisfying, meaningful conversations, you're not sharing, you're not having that deep, true intimacy, you're just going through the motions, if you're even doing that, then you are disconnected. You're disconnected from you. And all those other things coming out with your partner, they're just symptoms. So when you get to the point where you're saying, no more, then reach out. You're ready to really change, and you don't have to do that alone. In fact, I would love for everybody watching this video to say no more to disconnected relationships, no more to dysfunctional relationships, no more being disconnected on any level with myself. And yes, to that is one fine baby kind of lasting attraction. So if you're saying no more, you need help, and you're ready to say no more to disconnection and dysfunction, reach out, private message me, call me, email me, do whatever you have to do, because yeah, life is way too short to go through the motions. So I have one question that, yes, whether these videos will be recorded. Yes, they are. They are recorded later, which obviously if you're watching this later, you'll see that. And then I have another question here, real quick. No? Okay. Yes, Jennifer. Yeah, in the end, it's all about me. That's right. It is all about you. Always. It's always all about you, which is the beauty of it. That's the powerful part of it. That means we're 100% responsible, but it also gives us great power. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I will check you guys out next time. Mwah! Ciao.